If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 98 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with another game against Arsenal, this time though in the Barclays Premier League rather than the FA Cup, although it is again at home, but unfortunately it's in the snow, which kind of sucks. But we have recently gotten our first victory against top four, sort of, the big 5 or 6 sides in the division with a 1-0 victory over Liverpool yesterday. So hopefully we can back that up with a win in the league here against Arsenal. That was the plan at least going into this game. We've got a full strength first team at full fitness as well, thanks to the rotation side we put out against Arsenal at home away from home actually, I think it was, wasn't it? At the Emirates in the FA Cup in the previous match day. Now, this is midweek, and as you can see, they're starting a much stronger side than they were in the FA Cup tie as well. They played a bit of a rotation side in the FA Cup whilst we did the same, and we came away with a 1-1 draw. So we were hoping for at least a repeat of that, if not 3 points here. I would rather a win in the FA Cup personally, and I'd take a draw here. I would have preferred it was the 1-1 draw came in this game and we'd been able to get a win in the first one, but we'll have to see if we can actually get something of the same sort of result or better in this one. But they're starting very much on the front foot, as you can see here. Welbeck whips in across. The ball just kept going from side to side as they whipped it about, but we were able to eventually get the ball clear. But they continued their assault on our goal, as you can see, playing it down the right hand side. Sanchez, great feet and a nice little 1-2 with Jack Wilshere, who bursts into the box, sends it to Danny Welbeck, and 99 times out of 100 he would have buried that in the bottom corner. We just got a little bit lucky there that he wasn't quite able to do it, but Alexis shows great strength there to hold off Ivan Santalan. Bursts inside again, Jack Wilshere, and this time Danny Welbeck hits the bar, so he still can't find the goal that he was able to get in the previous game to put Arsenal 1-0 up. So hopefully that will continue to be the case as we head into the second half. Mathieu Debussy, I don't know what he's doing there. He just kept spinning around on the spot. I whipped the ball in, and that, Mr. Welbeck, is how he put a header into the back of the net. 53 minutes into the game, we have ourselves a 1-0 lead. All we needed to do was hold on to it for the next half an hour or so. As you can see, we are continuing to come forward. Jenkins Chikoui turning inside from the outside into Fabian Casada. Brilliant ball back to Georgiev, and a top save from Wojciech Szczesny stops us from making it 2-0. But we're in stoppage time now at the end of the second half. They try and clear their lines, but we get it back in there. Spawler through to Casada. Not the best of first touches, but at least it went into space. He then has the shot, deflects off the defender. Keeper makes a good save, but it drops perfectly for Georgiev. Now, watch this replay and see how far wide that initial shot was going. That was headed towards that small stand inside the stand at the back of the goal, but the deflection off the face of the defender took it towards the goalkeeper. He needed to make the save, and because it was a quick save, reaction save to a rebound, or to a deflection, sorry, the rebound went to one of my players rather than his defender, and we were able to seal the game out with a 2-0 victory. Now, like I say, I would have preferred the victory in the FA Cup because I want the prize money, and we're still turning down big offers for our number one goalkeeper. 2.3 million, I think, is the biggest we've had so far from Villarreal there. We had 2 million from Huddersfield yesterday and a few 1.5s, as you can see, another one here from Cordoba. But we are turning them down. It's interesting to see, though, how many, the variety of different clubs that are interested in him. And I always like to avoid selecting the, reject all offers option, because it's nice to see who's actually interested in your players, etc., and how much they'd be willing to pay. And the fact that we've had £2.3 million bid for Galese already kind of means to me that next season he might be worth a hell of a lot of money, so we'll have to keep hold of him, or at least the plan is to keep hold of him until the end of this season and re-evaluate the situation in the summer. But rather frustratingly, I had to put out a reserve side again for this second FA Cup game, the replay at home, again in the snow, unfortunately. Arsenal put out their strongest side again. Obviously, their fitness retention is a lot better than ours, with our players only having stamina in like the late 60s, early 70s at best, and they obviously have players with stamina in the late 80s, early 90s at best. And unfortunately, the first thing that happened was we got an injury, so I had to make a substitution. Gabbiadini has to come off for Signorelli. Hopefully, it won't be too significant an injury, and we'll find out exactly what he has at the end of the episode, or at the end of this game at least. But a brilliant front flip, 10 out of 10 for effort. Just unfortunately, he got an injury on the end of it. But we're playing Benicophobia against his parent club here, which technically shouldn't be allowed, obviously, unless it's specifically stipulated within the contract players shouldn't be allowed to play against their parent clubs whilst they're on loan, but he did have the first chance there for us with that header that drifted wide of the far post. Beat Per Mertesacker in the air, no less, so a decent attempt from him, but perhaps because he was up against the BFG at the back post, that meant that he kind of didn't get the accuracy on the header that he wanted, and Giroud didn't get the accuracy on his header that he wanted either. So we're still 0-0 after half an hour. We've had two very good games against Arsenal so far in the past couple of episodes, and they've been quite even as well, which has pleased me. Obviously, the game earlier on in this episode we were able to get the victory from, but we find ourselves going behind after 30 minutes. Giroud can't score with a header, but tiny little Santi Cazorla can, which is frustrating. But regardless, we continue on in the first half. Stoppage time at the end of that particular period, and Callum Chambers, a player that we're interested in, perhaps for the next window, whips the ball in, and Danny Welbeck can't seem to score headers. He's hit the bar in this game. He obviously hit the bar in the last game, and I think he hit the post in the game yesterday as well. He just cannot seem to score headers. So Ryan Donaldson is playing it into Benny Kofobi here. We're trying to get ourselves back in it in the second half, but the finish is left a little bit wanting. He finds that straight at Szczesny when I was kind of wanting him to put it in the bottom corner of the far side, which is exactly what Georgiev did yesterday. But as you can see here, they started to grow back into it, and he still cannot score a header, Danny Welbeck. Well tipped over the bar by Galese. They brought on Alexis Sanchez for Theo Walcott from that chance, so I skipped that out to drop to show you the corner, and Sanchez had the first shot from that corner, his first chance of the game, but it was again a good save by our Peruvian, well sought after goalkeeper. But he's staying put for now, and Greg Taylor left the defender there staying put as he powered past him, left him for dead, stands to cross into the box, up goes Afobe again, a brilliant reaction save from Szczesny, and he has to then volley the ball clear, as I'm not really too sure what his defender was doing. It looked as if he tried to pass it back to his goalkeeper. As you can see, Afobe's picked up a little injury. It's not going to cause him too much pain, etc., and he can continue. Unfortunately though, Schmidt wasn't able to get that shot on target, but it did actually get a deflection. I thought it was a straight up, just a terrible shot, but Spaller's going to whip the ball in. Szczesny comes and claims the ball, and with that, he comes and claims our FA Cup hopes as well. So unfortunately, after taking it to a money-spinning, or supposedly money-spinning replay, we unfortunately lose in the FA Cup 1-0 to Arsenal at home in the replay, so we're out of the tournament. And unfortunately, Stefano Gabbiadini is going to be out for 3 months with collateral ligament damage, which is particularly disappointing. Afobe's also going to be out for 3 weeks as well. So not only are we having trouble with fitness when it comes to stamina-wise, we now have injuries to worry about as well. And I say it was kind of money spinning. We got £57,000 added to our transfer budget. Brilliant. That's not really going to do much. But for now, we will continue on. Hopefully we can sell on a couple more players before the end of this particular transfer window. This is going to bring today's episode to a close. The win over Arsenal in the league helps us move up to 6th, and we are now level on points with them in the Europa League spot, although they stay above us on goal difference. They've scored a lot more than us, and we've conceded slightly less, but as you can see, theirs is plus 12 and ours is plus 6. So we sit there in 6th place, alongside actually Stoke, who sit behind us on goal difference as well. I hadn't noticed that. It's extremely tight, isn't it? Spurs could go top if they win, obviously, and there's 3 points between 3rd and 1st, and there's also 4 points between 4th and 8th, so it is particularly tight for the title and for those European spots. But for now, that's going to bring today's episode to a close. So thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, check the channel page for anything you may have missed. There will have been my player content uploaded earlier on this afternoon, and of course there was an episode of this series and a my player video yesterday. We'll have Inter Milan career mode returning tomorrow, as well as an episode of this, episode number 99. But for now, I will see you next time.